Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a little Q&A. I asked the other day, this is a house Q&A. I asked on my personal Instagram and my house Instagram page if you guys had any questions for me about our renovation, because I thought I would just sit down and answer them all in one video. I get asked so many times about different things around our house. It is so bright and sunny today, by the way, and I just love sitting here in our sort of kitchen diner area because it's so warm. Lulu's sunbathing on the sofa with me, so I'm doing it here. So if the light keeps going in and out and changing all the time, it's because the sun keeps going in and out of clouds. So I'm just going to jump straight on into this because I do have quite a few questions to answer. As I'm answering the questions, I will also overlay images of the things that people are asking about as well, so you can see as much detail as possible. And I'll try and be as specific about things as possible. So I'll give you dimensions if you've asked for dimensions too and things like that. So first of all, I'm going to start off with our tiles in our house. This is something I get asked about so many times. These are Portland white tiles from Porcelain Superstore. They are 90 centimeters by 90 centimeters, and they are like a really light gray. I know they're called Portland white, but they're not white. I would say they're more of like a kind of dove gray type color, and they have got a fleck in them so they don't show loads and loads of dirt, if that makes sense. Obviously we've gone for a light grey grout, which then does show a little bit more dirt, but to be honest with you, after a little bit of wear, the grout just kind of does discolour a little bit, but you only know it's discoloured once you've cleaned it. So it just blends in with everything. Also with the tiles, they have got a sort of not a rough texture, but they've kind of got like a lumpy texture to them. So they're not just completely smooth, so you do not slip on them. They're really, really great for grip. They are a grade 10 on the slip factor. If you go up to a grade 11, that is what you would have outside. So the grade 10 is still a really, really high non-slip grade. So I think they are a really, really good indoor tile. I think they're about £42 a square metre, but obviously prices can change on people's websites. But when we bought them, they were about £42 a square metre. The next question I get asked a lot about is our kitchen island. So lots of people want to know the size of it. So we have gone for 1.2 deep by 3.3 wide. 3.3 was the biggest we could go for. This is using a jumbo slab. So we have gone for quartz 20mm thick. And like I said, this is a jumbo slab and the biggest it could be. I really love the size of our island. I think it's a really, really great size for entertaining. We have 6 stools around our island and everyone has plenty of space. What I do love about our island and what I think I would definitely recommend to anybody doing a kitchen renovation is that we had a plug socket put on the underside of our island. So on the overhang where we have got 2 of our stools, we decided to put a double plug socket with 2 USB chargers in there as well. It just makes using electrical kitchen devices really easy because you don't have to have a cord going from your back wall over to your island if you want to use a blitzer or anything like that on your island. Obviously, as I make a lot of cooking videos, it's really handy for me because it means I can just use all of my cooking utensils whilst looking at the camera. Also, if we do any work and we need to plug in laptops or phones, we do have a handy charger right there for us. Next up, I thought I'd tell you about our sliding doors. So these sliding doors are definitely the wow factor in our house. These were from Ultraline, and we did look at so many different door companies, and originally we were going to go with another company, but what I didn't realize about going with this other company is the difference in sightlines. Our sliding doors are 7.2 meters wide and they are 2.2 meters high. So Ultraline pride themselves on the fact they give a 20mm sight line all the way around their doors as well as down the center bars. So in a lot of sliding doors, you will see that the locking mechanism is actually built into each side of the sliding doors. But with the Ultraline ones, they do electric locking on their doors, which means you do not need any handles on your door, which then gives you the option to have a really, really thin sight line on your doors. It's just little details like that that maybe when you're renovating, you don't think about. I am quite geeky when it comes to things about renovating and homes, and I really notice those kind of things. So definitely, if you're thinking about getting sliding doors, definitely look into Ultraline. I'll link them down below. They're not the cheapest doors, I'm not going to lie. Glass is an expensive part of a build. These were a bit more expensive than getting a sliding door with the lock built into the actual door. But I do think it's worth it. It's an investment for sure, and it's something that you will not change once they are in. In my opinion, they are well worth it. So next up, people have asked about our builders and how we found them, how we knew they would be good. I think this is a really, really tricky one. If you can, I would definitely see if you can get a recommendation. We got recommended the builders we used by some friends who have used them lots and lots of times. They have honestly been the best builders we've ever used in any build that we've done. This is the third house now that we have renovated, and it was just so easy to do. The builders made everything very, very clear from the beginning. People have also asked about like payment plans and how we went about paying our builders. Before they started, they gave us a breakdown of what they would be invoicing us every week. So every Thursday, we would get an invoice to our email address, obviously, and then we would just pay them a set amount each week until it was the end of the project and we had paid them everything they had quoted. It was a really easy way for us to keep on top of everything because it was all written down. I could just tick off the payments as they went along. They had exactly the same sort of spreadsheet as we did, and they were ticking their payments off as well. So we both knew exactly where we stood with payments. If there were any extras that we added on, like when they built our fireplace and bits and bobs like that, we could either have paid those at the time or we just sort of tallied up the extras and paid it at the end. So it was a really, really easy way for us to both keep on top of things, for us to keep on top of our budget, and our builders were really great. The only extra that was like an unforeseen extra was when we had to dig up the floor. I don't know if you guys remember, but we had to like go up this whole area of floor because we had like an existing building and a extension. When they had done it, the floor wasn't level, and for us to obviously lay tiles onto a floor, you want it to be as level as you can, and there was just no other way of getting around it than to kango it up and to re-screed it. So that was the only extra that our builders actually came back with. I can't say that's going to happen with every build for everybody else, but I think because we took our house back to such sort of bare bones, there weren't really any other extras and unforeseen things that could kind of pop up and have to be sort of added on. Someone says, how did you find the whole planning permission? Was it stressful? No, we didn't find it stressful because we weren't in a rush. We actually put in some plans previously. They got passed. It was actually all happening when COVID was going on. So we just had time. The planning office didn't actually even come out and look at our house because of COVID. We just had to send lots of pictures to them. So basically we put our plans in first of all and they got passed. But then we decided to add on the storeroom cupboard that we had built. So we resubmitted our plans. And again, within, I think, 8 weeks, they got passed again. And then our builders could start like 8 weeks after that, which was really good. So yeah, I didn't find it stressful. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with the architect to decide exactly what we wanted. I do think that is one thing that you need to be quite sure about. I think you need to, sometimes, I found this with the previous architect as well, you need to know exactly what you want, because your vision will be very different to their vision. They're great for giving you ideas too, but I think you do need to push your ideas onto architects, because sometimes they kind of just will draw up something and then put it through for planning. Whereas if you're living in the house as well, like we did, we lived in here for 1.5 years before we actually started our building work. So it gave us a really good idea of how we wanted to live and how we wanted to use the space. So definitely make sure you put your little stamp on what you want done, because it does make a difference. Oh, back onto the sliding doors. Someone said, does it bother me that our sliders don't have blinds? So this is actually something we haven't quite decided on yet. So at the moment, obviously, we don't have any blinds on our sliding doors. However, it is definitely something we have discussed and we are thinking about. I love the fact that, like I said to you before about the 20mm sight line around our doors, and if we put blinds up or anything, that would obviously detract from the sight line. because it would kind of come down a little bit on the top of the doors. So I feel like the only reason I'd want blinds there, it does get sunny, and in the summer I guess it would kind of block out some of the sun to keep it cooler inside, but we would just open them all up, to be honest with you, and we live in the UK, that doesn't happen very often. But another reason why I'd want them is because at night time, sometimes I get like, oh, is someone looking in? But we have an outdoor light, so when that's on, you don't feel like that anymore. So it's not like a no, we won't get blinds in this area, but it's just at the moment we're quite happy with how it is, and we're just going to wait and see. We don't want to rush into making that decision. If we get anything, it would just be electric blinds like we have in all the other rooms, and they take like between 7 and 10 days from when you order them to be fitted. It's not a long wait at all. So it is definitely something we can add later on. It's just something that we're not quite ready to do now, and we haven't made up our mind. Oh, someone's asking about our fire. This fire is by DIMPLEX. It's a 74-inch Ignite, and it's brilliant. We absolutely love it. I'll link it down below. We also got the accessory kit for it as well. Someone asked me about this accessory kit the other day, and they said they can't find it. We actually did have to order it from another country, and it got shipped over. But it's very simple. It came in, I think, about 2 weeks or so, and the accessory kit's about £250, and I think the fire's about 1,100. It's an electric fire, but I think it is so realistic, and I definitely think with the accessory kit it looks even more realistic. It's really easy to install. We just installed it ourselves, and yeah, I feel like it is a massive feature in this room of ours, and I'm so pleased we decided to go for it. Someone said, did you use an interior designer, or were the kitchen designs, interiors, all your own ideas? I think my interior designer was Pinterest. I loved Pinterest. I would go on there all the time to get ideas for the kitchen, because I knew I wanted the kitchen to be a certain way, but for like internal drawers and cupboards, I just went on Pinterest loads and loads and loads and got so many ideas, and I think that's what I've done for the whole house. So no interior designer, just us. Right, so just curious why you have not chosen to have a feature light over your lovely island. I think because we just fancied something a bit different. We had that in our last house, obviously, and this time we just thought we would have something a bit different. I really, really love the back wall lights in our home, and yeah, don't know, there was no real reason, no kind of design reason or anything like that, just fancied something a bit different this time, and I'm really, really pleased we went for the lights we did, because I feel like they are really lovely and warming, and with the shelf underneath, they just look really good. Someone said, how did you choose the interior of your kitchen drawer colour? So I was given the option of 3 different internal like cupboard colours. One was just natural oak, which I loved, and I couldn't decide between that or the kind of, what colour are we going now? We're kind of like a browny kind of colour, but we decided to go for the darker one because we're going for a darker kitchen, and our drinks cabinet will be open, well, is open most of the time. We just thought it would kind of blend more with everything, but I did really, really love the oak, and because we've obviously got lots of exposed oak around our house, I thought it would look really nice. But yeah, we went for the dark one, and I'm so pleased with it. I think it does just complement the dark coloured kitchen really well. Right, so someone asked if we kept to our budget. No. It's a simple answer. The builder obviously quoted for the build. His quote didn't include any of the glass or internal sort of bits of the house. So it didn't include skirtings and architraves, purely because we asked them not to include that, because we originally were going to use a different company that sort of already made all those different things that you could just kind of stick in place. And then it just didn't work out that we could use that company because the door frames weren't quite how they need to be to use that company, if that makes sense. Their quote didn't include our kitchen, our bathrooms and everything like that, or our flooring. It included putting down the flooring, but it didn't actually include the flooring. So I think when you come to make those decisions on what flooring you're going to have, what bath you're going to buy, what shower heads you're going to buy, you just don't expect they're going to be quite as much as they are. I mean, you can obviously choose from one spectrum to the other, and I would say that we kind of went middle of the road for everything. but they're still really, really expensive. And they're just little things that, you know, the plumber will say, oh, you didn't get this part. And then you look and you're like, what? But that's like £400. Nothing's a tenner in building. And rarely things are £100, you know. You're talking, everything just seems to be expensive. And then we decided to have a couple of extras like our fireplace. So the whole fireplace unit probably cost us an extra £2,000 by the time they built it in. Maybe more actually, because then we got the kitchen worktop put on top. So they're just lots of little things that you think, oh, while we're here, we should do this. And oh, while we're here, we should do that. Which then just sort of brought our budget up a little bit. Someone's asked, what happens if an underfloor heating pipe breaks? Would you have to dig up the tiles? So obviously before you put your tiles down, the plumbers do a full test of the underfloor heating. They can do it one of two ways. Either they can run water through it, or they can put air in it. And obviously if there's any holes anywhere, the air you'd hear it coming out. So you need to do that before you lay anything on your underfloor heating, because if you don't and you lay your flooring and then you realize there's a leak, yes, you do have to dig everything up to get, well, to first of all find the leak would be so difficult. We're on different runs in our house, so obviously you could tell because pressure would be dropping in one of the runs. But we had it fully tested before we had our flooring put down. So now that it's been put down, there shouldn't really be any problems with it, because there's nothing that's being in contact with the pipes that could damage them in any way. And then we've just got water constantly running through them. So hopefully it's all okay. But yes, if anything went wrong, we would have to dig our floor up. I love the brick slips. Are you going to carry them on behind the TV? I don't think we are, you know. I think we're really pleased with how they look. I've now bought a little plant to go next to the TV that's got a little bit of colour to it. And I'm just slowly kind of trying to see how to dress that area, but I don't think we are going to carry them on, because I really just love it in that area. I think it looks great and a real feature wall. So for now, the answer is no, we're not going to carry it on behind the TV. Someone said, how do you plan on keeping your extension cool in the summer with all that glass? Just open it. We live in the UK, we don't have that many like hot days. We used to have exactly the same in our old house with bifolding doors instead, and we just opened them. It was so nice. We had such a lovely draft coming through, and it was just so nice. And honestly, I think we opened them up about 15 days in total when we lived there during the whole year, because we live in the UK. But hopefully we'll open them more this year, because I'm really hoping we'll have a good summer. How did you know what style you wanted? Again, Pinterest. I knew I kind of wanted to go like minimalist, Scandi sort of style. I mean, I feel like our house hasn't really been dressed properly yet, because we're still waiting for like sofas to arrive before we order rugs and things like that. But I feel like I'm good with the building aspect of things, but then when it comes down to sort of the interiors, that's when I get a little bit stuck, and that's when I really do need Pinterest to help me out. Is underfloor heating energy efficient in comparison to radiators? Yes, definitely. In our old home, we had radiators everywhere, and we would kind of you'd be turning them up, turning them down, turning them up. With this underfloor heating, we're constantly turning it down. It is so warm, and it's like a different kind of warmth. It's not, you know how when you have a radiator, they kind of flick on and flick off? This is just on constantly, and it's just like an ambient heat that is just always around you. There's not like hot spots where you'd be near a radiator, it's warmer there, and then it's cooler over where there's, you know, when you're further away from a radiator. It's just warm everywhere, which means you can keep it on a lower heat, because it's just, yeah, the radiator is basically just everywhere. So I would say it's definitely more energy efficient. You definitely need it on a lot lower and a lot less. Carrying on with underfloor heating, how do you know what pipes to use for the underfloor heating? So we had to use a slim thin line profile underfloor heating. We chose Warm-Up's Total 16 underfloor heating, which is water-based heating, and it means that usually with the thick underfloor heating you would lose about 10 centimeters of your floor height, so of your height of your room, but with this one you lose 1.6 centimeters. So yeah, with a normal one you'd lose 10 centimeters plus then your flooring, but with Warm-Up's Total 16 you lose like 1.6 centimeters and then you put your flooring on top. So what we did is we had the Warm-Up Total 16, then we latexed on top of that, which is a super thin layer, and then we laid our tiles straight on top of that. Whereas the thick pipe, you would screed on top of the thick pipe, and then you would lay your flooring. So we knew to choose that because we already had like existing flooring down. We weren't adding an extension, so we didn't want to raise the floor height, otherwise we would obviously have a lot lower ceilings. So that's how we knew what we needed to go for. The builder did advise us on that because I didn't even know that underfloor heating system existed. So I'd definitely just ask your builder or ask for recommendations from people who you know have had underfloor heating before. But if you've got an existing floor and you just want to go over that, then you definitely want to get the warm-up total 16 because it's very, very slim. Someone's asked, when do you start looking for the right builder? We looked straight away. As soon as we moved here and we knew we wanted to get work done, I started asking people if they knew of any good builders around here. And then as soon as we found the builder that we wanted, we did get quotes from 3 different builders, but as soon as we found the ones we wanted and we had submitted our plans, I then told them that hopefully we should get the plans back within 8 to 12 weeks. So they kind of penciled us in for when we knew we were getting our plans back. Is there a lot of cleaning maintenance for the big glass doors and the grout lines? So I would say the glass doors do get dirty quite quickly, but that is because we've got kids and it's because we've got a dog. So Lulu kind of gives a little scratch at the door when she wants to come in from being outside. And because it's winter here in the UK, she gets dirt on her paws, so the paw prints go on the doors a bit. And then the boys play football outside, they touch the doors a bit. But we have got a KARCHER window cleaner, which is really quick and easy to use, and it makes them come up like they've just been window cleaned very, very quickly. Grout lines. I wouldn't say we're really that fussy about our grout lines. We might sort of like see a little patch that we want to do and then just quickly just give that patch a quick clean. But we're not really like precious about our home. We have 2 kids and a dog. Our kids always have friends coming over. So we kind of feel like this is a house that's going to be lived in. It's going to be a home. It's not going to be a show home. So we just let it kind of do its thing and get a bit messy. And if we clean it and it doesn't come up like new, then that's fine. Oh, someone's asking about our Bora hob. Oh my gosh, it's so good, this hob. We weren't going to go for this hob before because it was a bit expensive. We were actually going to go for an Elica hob, but we could not get the ducting for the Elica. We had to wait something like 12 weeks from order to get the ducting. And obviously as our ducting goes down into our floor and then goes out the side wall of our home, this had to be put down when the floor was being screeded. So the only option for us was to go with the Bora hob, and I am so pleased we did because it's amazing. It's got 4 hobs and it's induction, and then as you can see, it's got our extractor fan in the middle here, which is so effective. Bora do a recirculating version of this as well, but ours is ducted outside, which has to be done when you are doing a home renovation for it to be passed off. But if you're just doing a kitchen swap over, then you can just get the recirculating one. It's really, really good. It was a bit expensive. I think in total with the ducting it was about £2,800. So it is an investment, but obviously I use my hob every single day. So if you work out its price per use, it definitely is worth it. Someone actually asked me why we have 2 dishwashers. So I have spoken about this before. So we had space in our kitchen for 2 dishwashers. My sister's got 2 dishwashers. And I remember when I first went to her house, I thought, why on earth have you got 2 dishwashers? But then I saw them in action and I was like, oh my goodness, that is the best thing ever. So because we had the luxury of choosing between either having a extra cupboard or an extra dishwasher, we decided to go for the extra dishwasher because A, we have so much cupboard space, we didn't really need another cupboard, and B, I do a lot of cooking on my channel, and I always had bits piled up in the sink or on the side, and now our worktops and our sink are mostly always tidy because everything can just go into one dishwasher while the other one is on, and vice versa. So yeah, literally the best thing ever, and it's something I would definitely not change about our kitchen. Right, so I feel like this video is literally going to be about half an hour long, so I'm going to end it here. If you have any more questions you would like to ask, then just comment down below and I will then do another one of these videos, maybe in a couple of weeks or a couple of months' time, to answer all of those questions. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye!